I want to amplify and uplift and talk about some of the other working experience that you had. Like I don't necessarily want to hear. I mean, you could talk about what you're doing now, but I want to talk about like some funny jobs that you had in the past, people who you worked with that helped shape your view of what working people are going through on a daily basis, in
Yeah.
addition to what we're all going through, because we're all, working for the man. And as it be said, we're not billionaires here. So what do you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah. Well, just to add on to a little bit of what you were saying before that too, I was going to say whatever you should go with whatever has the most evidence when you're wondering about, oh, were our elections rigged, or is the jab really hurting people? Look at all the evidence. Don't stop searching for more evidence, because just like how science is an investigative process, so is investigating what the actual truth is. It's a never-ending journey. Always keep looking for more evidence, and you go with whatever has the most evidence. As far as what jobs I've had before, I've worked as at Target Tech selling cell phones. I went to college for I studied biology. I worked. I don't know if I'll just be open with everybody here about it. I've worked before as a post-bac at the NIH, and post-bacs, like, you think you went through all that effort in college to get all these good grades and everything, and then once you get there, you're treated as like a servant, barely getting paid, doing the experiments that the principal investigator wants you to do. And the principal investigator can only do the research that is approved by the people that give them grants, by the institutions, and who controls the institutions, to corporations. So if you're thinking about why we can't discover more things, and it's because it's all restricted for what's going to make corporations more profit. That they control who's at the boards, and that is something that helped open my eyes more to the whole COVID stuff. Everybody in the science, well, not everybody, but a lot of people in the science field are really indoctrinated into the system. And when I stepped away from that, from the NIH, that's when I started, and when I was like paying attention to independent news and everything, I started seeing, oh my God, people are just like in the matrix. They're not questioning things. I saw when I was in grad school, people were questioning the narrative about COVID in early 2020. And when they were saying, oh, we got a lockdown and everything, I saw professors for molecular and microbiology saying, oh, like, this doesn't make sense. Why are we going to do this for something that's not, it's not that dangerous? And then once Fauci started saying that we should lock down and everything, and other and public health authorities started saying that we should lock down, then that's when they were like, oh, okay, if they're saying it, then that means that we should. So you see how it still influences people within the science field. And I'm not saying everybody is like that, but this is how we have so many people just like going with the motions, just doing as they're told. And I imagine this is true in a lot of fields that working class people are in.
Yeah, and
But
corporate media. I mean, think about all the
yeah,
corporate news sponsored by Pfizer, all the
yeah,
everything now sponsored by Pfizer. And again, the reason why they're doing that is they're buying favorable coverage, and I think that's kind of where you're going with that. Is the reason why you have to question it. And that's one of the things we do is we follow the money and we question everyone's motivations, and we have to look at the profit motive
I saw
as.
more.
Hmm?
Sorry to cut you off.
No,
I
go
was just
ahead,
going to
go.
say, I saw more people questioning things when I was working at retail, selling phones at Target, than when I was at the NIH. And I think it's because working class people feel the hurt more, but other people that are like working at these like high institutions like the NIH have just been so successfully indoctrinated through all these years of college and just going through the motions and all that. Yeah, sorry to cut you
No,
off.
no, no, no.
I just wanted
I
to
just
add
wanted to add
that.
into your stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, NIH. I had no idea that you had a bio background, and again, I know that you've been studying. You followed the science, and you've been following the actual tests. and questioning why are they looking for a 75-year waiver. You've been asking the hard questions. Why have they been continuously shutting down Ryan Christian's channels and his Twitter when all that guy does is look at the most peer-reviewed studies that we've seen and brings in global data, which is inconvenient truth. I mean, literally, it's so maddening. And again, you're one of the people that keeps pressure on, and there's not enough of us and not many of them that are daily and regularly questioning what they're putting out there and asking why, what's the motivation, and showing here are what the reports are showing. Here's what the actual results are showing. Here are the side effects that people are reporting. There really is a female menstrual issue. There really is a myocardial issue. There really are these issues, and they're being reported by the pharmaceutical companies themselves, but then they're trying to shut down discussion or exposure of this. And again, so we have to continue to keep this up. And you know, I've got kids, and you know, the way that they've been pushing to try to get young children more shots, it's alarming. And look, we see COVID ripping around like crazy right now. It seems like everybody's getting it. And we knew from the beginning, like, again, if you follow the science, that it was going, everybody was effectively at some point going to get it. For how much they keep moving the goalposts, and it's been frustrating for sure. And again, this is, thank goodness for platforms like Rockfin, like Rumble, like Odyssey, that are allowing this kind of conversation to happen, because it's being narrative managed like crazy on the big platforms like Twitter and YouTube and Facebook. I know every time you try to set up a Facebook page, for example, I mean, how long is it before the Facebook page gets knocked out? Or, I mean, it's been pretty insane. I remember a couple times, right? Instagram too.
Yeah, they don't want people to make up their own minds, because they know that they're going to figure out the truth, and it's not going to be convenient for these institutions that control everything. So it's not just with news about public health, which was what TLAB was covering during 2020, 2021, and up until now as well in 2022, but with foreign policy as well, right? They're going to, if anybody out there is going to be interviewing weapons experts or other people on the ground in these other countries that are going to present evidence that contradicts what the mainstream media is pushing out, they're going to censor that, as we're seeing with the Ukraine situation or with Syria or Libya or any of these other issues. So I applied what I was seeing there with the science field to what's happening with foreign policy, or what's happening with the food industry and the agricultural industry, and how they poison us with all these artificial additives that they add to our food. And I mean, it makes sense. If they get us sick, they get us to have these autoimmune diseases, then we're dependent on big pharma so that they can treat our disease and not actually cure it.
And you know, with some reports saying that it reduces reduces your ability to recover and your immunity level, that, you know, you're going to be further exposed and further in their pocket and dependent on them, like you said.